I'm Claudia Catania, and you're listening to Playing on Air. You are about to hear Last Night in the Garden I Saw You, written and directed by Oscar, Tony, and Pulitzer Prize winner John Patrick Shanley. It features Michelle Williams, star of Broadway's Blackbird and films My Week with Marilyn, Manchester by the Sea, and Brokeback Mountain. And Rupert Friend, whose films include Pride and Prejudice, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, The Young Victoria, in addition to his role as Peter Quinn in the series Homeland. And now, Last Night in the Garden I Saw You. We are in a suburban garden. An apple tree, patio furniture, night. A guy, Arthur, climbs into view from over a fence. He's in dirty restaurant whites and a sweat-stained paper hat. He accidentally hits some wind chimes, which sound off. A light comes on, and a woman, Judy, comes out.
Who's there? Who's out there?
It's just me. Old reliable, Arthur.
Arthur?
Yes.
What are you doing in Westchester?
I'm in Westchester?
You don't know where you are?
I came to this address, the one on your note where you told me you got married.
You're gonna come to some bummer end, you know. People up here shoot trespassers.
I don't believe in private property.
I know.
No more than I believe in marriage. You don't own your soul, Judy. That's why suicide's wrong. You have no right to sign yourself away.
What are you wearing?
My uniform.
Have you joined something?
I am a dishwasher.
Oh, my God. How do you keep coming up with these ridiculous things to do with your life?
They make for good journal entries.
You're not supposed to live your life for your journal.
No, you couldn't be more wrong. If you live to satisfy the narrative requirements of your journal, your life will dance like the stalk.
Shut up.
I've come here with one question. Is it that we don't understand each other, or are we at war?
That a man with your gifts should throw it all away like it was nothing. To be so...
Go on, say it. I'm a genius.
I don't know what you are, but you shouldn't be a damn dishwasher. A man with your gifts. You should be able to pick and choose.
I'm shocked to hear you rush to my defense.
I can be nicer now that I'm not involved.
Well, I did pick and I did choose, and I chose dishes. Washing dishes is the most satisfying thing I've ever done. In dirty, out clean, that's an equation I can get behind. And to top it all, I have a uniform. I wear a white hat. It's the perfect job. When did you get married?
6 months ago.
Why?
To get away from you.
Me?
That's right.
But I'm a pussycat. I ask nothing. I'm like a mist.
Well, it can be upsetting to have a 4-year affair with a mist.
Who is he?
The opposite of you, and rich.
But I'm rich.
You haven't got a nickel.
Oh, you mean money?
Yes, money. Money. A roof, credit cards, a driver's license, things, 3-dimensional things, and most of all, heaps of money.
But money's the most common thing there is. It clogs the drains in the heads of every Trudy and Dick to find a place free of money. That's the trick.
Well, I want it. I want money. I want lots of money.
Why?
So I don't have to think about it.
That is like marrying a man so you don't have to see him. Where is your husband, by the way?
South America. Brazil.
Oh, you didn't go with him?
Obviously.
You have a wonderful, crunchy, crumbly quality this evening.
I'm drunk.
Why?
Bored.
6 months married and you're bored?
I was bored on the honeymoon. But I'll stick it out.
How long?
The distance. Life.
For why?
I've decided to take a stand.
A stand? Like Custer, Joan of Arc, and those mixed-up boys at the Alamo.
Damn right. I've decided to take a stand, to choose. I've decided to live in a definite way.
But this isn't a definite thing at all. This house? What is it? This furniture, your clothes. Come on, is it wealth you want? 'Cause this is poverty. These are all hand-me-downs. Ideas bummed from other cultures and other centuries. You deserve at least novelty.
You don't like the way I'm living? Look in the mirror. It's your fault. People like you make people like me choose, and choice brings out the worst in me.
It does.
In my kind.
What kind are you?
Easy. I'm the easy kind. I like it easy.
But that's not what life is.
You'd be surprised.
You don't strike me as completely a peace doll.
Well, that may be, but I can't live like a fruit picker. If the sheets aren't cotton, I get a rash. If you make me choose, I'm not going to opt for the daily invention of a way of life. Where are you living?
Nowhere.
Somebody's couch, right?
Not even that.
Somebody's floor.
I'm going away.
So you come here?
You invited me.
I don't remember that.
Your note's return address.
Why would you assume that meant...
That you would want to say goodbye to me? Well, maybe I presume on the strength of our story. Maybe I have theorized that you are not made of stone. I brought you these.
What is it?
Many naked pictures of you.
Wow, thanks. It crossed my mind that I should get 'em back.
Well, there they are.
Makes me feel a little blown off.
The most important woman in my life sends me a note telling me she's married and you feel blown off?
I haven't heard from you in a year.
So?
So? What, are you insane? The way you treat the most important woman in your life is to not rampantly neglect her.
Apparently it is.
Well, it's no good. Holy... I can't believe I did that. Wait a minute. That isn't me.
The photo lab's always mixing stuff up. The others are you.
How many women?
How many women what?
Were you involved with?
When?
Oh my God. How many women were you involved with when you were involved with me?
What do you mean?
What do I mean?
So you're accusing me of exactly what?
You are so lame.
Cheating on a woman married to somebody else?
Never mind. Of course you're going to turn it around. Men! You're right. Your life's your own. Thanks for these.
Oh, so now you're all deflated.
I guess so. I was watching a biography, drinking Montrachet. I have a huge TV. The biography of Elizabeth Taylor. She loved Richard Burton so much.
What's going on, Judy? Why have you done this? You can tell me now. I'm gonna let you go.
There was that stretch of time 2 years ago when I saw you all the nights, Arthur. When we had those crazy lights in our eyes. One of those nights, in the folds of my soul, I felt a want that shook me like dice. I looked up at you. I was soaked. I looked up at you. And I wanted you to kill me.
Well.
Murder me. Put me down.
So you put yourself in jail.
Protective custody. One of us had to.
I don't know.
I do. I'm clear on that. I don't want to die.
You will, though.
Not ahead of schedule.
I should kill you for deserting your destiny and being a coward in the face of nature.
It's not natural to want to be murdered by your lover.
Who says? Happens all the time. My grandmother begged to be murdered every night. We could hardly hear the TV.
She did not.
I'm going to lose my job over this.
Go for what?
I'm on a break. Do you have anything to eat?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Cheese?
That's an apple tree. Look for apples.
Why don't you have any food?
I'd eat it.
Get me a drink.
What do you want?
Anything.
I have everything.
You have nothing. I am here out of pity and love and compassion for a woman who is turning to glass. Now get me a drink. An apple. Knowledge, what good is it? So I disappointed you. You wanted me to murder you and I didn't do it. Now you're onto the job yourself, because most people can't bear the cost of identity or the mandates of the soul. They want a Mussolini and a script to follow, and they spit on everything else, even love.
If you loved me, you would have taken me by the torso and said, "You're mine."
Grabbed you like a picnic ham, huh? You should have a bone in your nose.
That's offensive.
To who?
You should have grabbed me and never let me go.
I grabbed you.
But you let go. And you said, "Here tonight." You're letting me go.
I'm going away.
What does that mean? You always go away.
But this time it's for good.
I don't believe that.
And I have my question.
Why now?
Is it that we don't understand each other, or are we at war?
You do know I love you, right? That it's never been about that.
Because I cannot allow you, in the name of safety, in the name of a safe life, Judy.
Oh my God, you're serious. You can't go.
Don't.
Not if it's forever. I couldn't take that. I gotta know you're out there.
No.
I gotta know it isn't over.
This can't go on, no more.
Can you feel me?
Like a circle of sparks.
Why would you take away my one beautiful possibility?
Do you think I don't hate God when he gets in the way like this? You're everything to me.
Look, I'll leave the guy in a minute. Just tell me to.
It's not him.
What do you mean it's not him? The day I met you was the happiest day of my life.
But what was the truth of that day and this day? Not the emotion, the truth.
I don't know anything about the truth. That's one of those things men talk about.
Truth is a rooster wakes you up and screws you.
Why have we never been able to have anything that gives us the peace of love?
Because our nature disrupts our intent. I have to be done with you.
I'm not ready for that.
It isn't a misunderstanding. It is war, isn't it? If I gave you the knife, you'd kill me.
But why would you ever give me a knife?
If I gave you my heart, that would be the knife. Look at that, with another man's house staring at us the whole time. Where's your inner estate? Where's the squire of that estate? Why do you need outward signs of worth and dominion?
You know what? Come inside.
Where?
In the house.
What are we, French?
I want you to come inside.
No way. That house is on fire, and I'm just a little paper plane.
What does that mean? Come in with me. If ceremonies mean nothing, and they don't, I'm no wife. You're really not gonna see me anymore?
You married some fool.
He's not a fool.
He married you, and you're not in love with
You
him.
don't like the house? Take me somewhere.
Where?
Away.
You don't know where to go. I rest my case.
You're no lawyer. A motel.
A motel. Has it come to that? No. There's no place for us to go. We're here on a scrap of nothing in a burst of sky, side by side between two brinks. Behind us is the little piece of pink cake we ate. It's gone. In front of us is silence. We're through, honey. In time, a compassionate God may allow this separation to become a field of wildflowers or the wings of a swan.
What are you doing?
I am speaking to you without embarrassment as a poet, for that is what I am.
I want to want what you want, Arthur, but I don't.
You're gonna wake up on your deathbed regretting every comfortable move you made. You'll be choking for air, crying out my name.
Oh, you're evil.
You'll look around at where you are and who's with you, and you'll remember this night as the last opportunity before you were hopeless.
And what about you?
Me? I'll be at peace.
Fat chance. So what? I have one bad day when I'm dying. I can live with that.
One bad day? What were you doing when I hopped your fence? Watching TV, getting drunk, crying over dead movie stars.
Miss Taylor will always be alive to me.
And trust me, this is just the beginning. There'll be 1,001 second-rate nights, oh my Scheherazade, and every one of them in time will be painted on your face. A person's spirit, Judy, not kept constant, yellows up like an old wedding dress.
What are you doing?
I'm making sure you never forget me and that you are sufficiently cursed.
Curse?
That's right, I'm putting a curse on you.
We're in Westchester.
You will never be happy.
What did you do? You shouldn't even make a joke like that. Why did you do that?
Revenge.
I thought you loved me.
All great revenge stories begin with love. As the years go by and you realize that my curse has destroyed your life, you'll come looking for me. By that time, it'll be too late. You will be laminated in the self-ratifying glaze of the bourgeoisie, an object of pity, probably walk right by me to shop. I better head back.
So this isn't goodbye.
Oh, yes it is.
If it was, you wouldn't have cursed me. You cursed me to open a bracket. You cursed me to make me come looking for you.
I cursed you to have an ongoing source of enjoyment.
Against the day when you check back in again.
I will never check in. Let the night stand as witness.
I'm Eve, and you're Adam. And though God drives us out 1,000,000 times and says it can't be, this is our garden, Arthur, and I will see you here again.
Don't count on it. I'm gonna enjoy my life.
You don't sound so steady now.
I am, though.
Go ahead. Don't let me stop you. Leave.
You're the one.
What's that?
It's you. You're the one who's cursed me.
You are such a boy.
Sometimes I think you're not human.
I'm human.
Sometimes I think, because there's no song in you at all, that's what makes me come to you.
What are you talking about? You are the song in me. And I am the reason you sing.
Irene night. Night, Irene. I'll see you in my dream.
You just heard Last Night in the Garden I Saw You, written and directed by John Patrick Shanley. It featured Rupert Friend as Arthur and Michelle Williams as Judy. Thank you, John, Rupert, and Michelle. Michelle, I heard you say in an interview that you study the work of a director to prepare for his or her style. You added that an actor is essentially the paint with which a director draws. What kind of color and brush stroke would you say John Patrick Shanley paints in?
The language is really fun to say, and it has a kind of playground sort of quality, a kind of like jungle gym quality anyway, as does a lot of his beautiful language. So I became aware of John Patrick Shanley a long, long time ago. I had a boyfriend when I was like in my early 20s or something, and he was a big Shanley fan, and he turned me into a big Shanley fan. So I have been unconsciously preparing for this moment for the last 20 years. And I think with something like this, the best kind of preparation that you can do, because you don't have like an extensive rehearsal process, is to show up with your most open self. I was actually talking to, so I wrote into today with our babysitter who's also an actress, and she was saying, like, how do you approach something that's basically a cold reading because she goes to auditions herself, and she's like, I find that so difficult when you don't really have, when you just sort of jump in and do it. And that's what I said. I think you just like try and arrive with your best self, the self that is open to failing, the self that is open to, the self that can change quickly, move quickly, take direction quickly. You just try and bring like your most present self to something.
Rupert, you were able to deliver this short play in only 3 hours. How different do you think it would have been if you'd had 3 days?
I think John would have killed me, really. 3 days. I would ask John, the director.
Yeah, this is John Shanley, and I think that 3 days of doing this is, it's just a whole different process. Basically, actors are like water, and they conform to the vessel that you put them in. So you give them 3 hours, they feel the cold steel of a knife at their throat, and they come up with something. And if you have really good actors, as we do today, they're going to come up with some pretty good stuff. And I also feel the terror of 3 hours. And actually, in listening to the play, only figured out sort of like how this particular alchemy was going to work in the last couple of takes. I'm a huge fan of cold readings. Because you find stuff that you don't find any other way. And rehearsal is a way of letting your blood get cooler and cooler. So I like the sudden impact of just the actor does something and the other actor is like, whoa, what was that? And like they have a real reaction. And so kind of great.
In Last Night in the Garden I Saw You, it's a lot about choices one makes in life between risk and security. Can you talk at all about the nature of risk in the life and work of an artist?
Well, I think that security is an illusion that people cling to like a life preserver to keep from going under the unconscious waves of the experience of life itself. I came here by train, and then I had to walk about 4 blocks. And in those 4 blocks, I was almost overwhelmed with memories of things that had happened on every one of those blocks, including, and finally, the building that we're in, the Film Center building, where I used to keep an office. And wrote many things there and had experiences there and all sorts of stuff. So what was the question?
It's about risk versus security.
Yeah, I guess I just, in other words, to me, risk versus illusion. Because it's we just take a series of runs at things and then we fall down, and that was our life.
Good, and I'm glad I'm not getting anything wrong. That's what it feels like.
John, your characters break into more and more poetry as Last Night in the Garden I Saw You progresses and concludes. Can you talk a little bit about the role of poetry in your play?
People are always talking in poetry, falling in and out of it as they become conscious and unconscious of what they're saying. The things that people let fall from their lips without thinking are very often beautiful, poetic phrases or ways of capturing something, sort of like fireflies coming out of people's mouths. They just don't happen to notice. And in the play, I'm going to let fly with what, I'm Irish. And I'm going to let fly with what's in my heart and in my soul and what I would choose to say if I had the opportunity.
In the play, Judy's distressed that a man of Arthur's gifts should be wasting his life, and Arthur's convinced that Judy is wasting hers. What does a wasted life mean to you, John?
When you don't follow your true nature at any point. And if your true nature says go left, you go left. And if you don't, you've gone nowhere. It's all you have. Yourself. That's all you have.
It's such a bold, unabashed statement when he has the piece about the truth of his poethood. It's such a wonderful. It flies in the face of everything that I or anyone was ever bullied for in the playground. When you say something true and real. And it's in many ways the last great taboo in many modern societies, the idea that you can say something heartfelt and not be ridiculed for it or have it used against you.
Is it that we don't understand each other, or are we at war? That's Arthur's question in this play. Rupert Friend, what do you make of that?
Well, I think this is two former
lovers trying to understand whether they wish to continue to be in some way entangled or whether they wish not to be, because war is an engagement. It is a relationship, and I feel like that neither of them is quite ready to answer that question, and he's come ostensibly to get an answer and just confuses it over and over again until Judy makes the final declaration, perhaps at the end.
Feels like too, when the stakes are that high, a very subtle miscommunication then it is war. When the stakes are that high, and what they're talking about is like this flip that happens between love and hate. As she says at one point, he says like, I cursed you, and she says, I thought that you loved me. And I thought, I think about that a lot. How does that flip happen for so many people, between like, I want to marry you to I want to divorce you. And it all falls down to communication. Did I misunderstand you? Or are we now poised to kill each other? Because that's what it's going to be. Like, we're not walking out of, like, we're not going to shake hands and like walk away as friends. Like, there's going to be blood, and I just don't know if it's yours or mine.
Right. There's another line in the play, knowledge, what good is it? That's what the character Arthur says after he eats a chunk of apple. What do you make of that comment?
Well, it's the Garden of Eden. It's the tree of knowledge. He's got the apple, and it's a knowledge. All of us at this table have known things, and it did us no service. It didn't help at all in solving the issue at hand, because there's struggles. I mean, people have power struggles, a lot. And they think that, because I think everybody knows everything. So I don't think it's miscommunication. I think that I think I can change you, I think I can prevail. And finally, you recognize that you can't, even if it's simply that you hook up with somebody who's sad and you think you can make them happy. And you do for a while. But eventually, they'll return to their emotional thermostat, and you'll be left with exhausted and upset that you did not succeed in prevailing. Don't you think?
Why these two people that are so passionate about each other, that are so in love with each other, that cannot live without each other, why can't they be together?
Because, as he says, our nature disrupts our intent. And his nature is to be a wanderer and to be not moored to any one place or person. And her nature is that she wants to be planted. She wants to be somewhere and be with someone. And
so they're
she
in love
wants
with
to
the
be,
wrong people?
You're supposed to quote Moonstruck, you love the wrong people and die. That's why we're here. Just get on with it.
Right, well, on that uplifting note, thank you. Michelle Williams, Rupert Friend, and John Patrick Shanley, who is both playwright and director.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
I appreciate it.
You've been listening to Playing on Air, great American short plays with great American actors. Theme and play music by Tom Cochan. Recording and sound design by John Kilgore. Associate producer, Sasha Spitzer. Literary and development associate, Lucy Fleming. Social media and outreach, Bonnie Antosh. Distributed by PRX, Public Radio Exchange. We invite you to visit our website at playingonair.org, where you can stream short plays and find information about our artists and plays. Join us on Facebook or Twitter, and subscribe to our podcast on iTunes. While you're there, leave us a review. We value your opinion. For Playing on Air, I'm your host, Claudia Catania. Thanks for listening.